Good evening and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. I am Aaron. I am your GM for tonight, and we are returning to the universe of Warhammer 40k with Cubicle 7's Wrath and Glory. Before we meet our players, we're going to jump into the exact moment where we left off 2 weeks ago. We find ourselves, our team, our Dark Angel Space Marine, our two Sisters of Battle, and a Seraphim and a Palatine, our Assassin and our Electu Fulgurite Priest, walking away from the Manufactorum as it explodes in this nuclear fireball, only contained by these amazing void shields. Everyone in the crowd gasping and falling back, realizing if those void shields had not been raised, 20 miles of the city would be destroyed. Tens of millions of people would have lost their lives. And as the team walks away, out from the crowd, a familiar figure emerges. This old, hunched over Administratum Productivity Inspector Lothar Skult, and surrounding him is a small squad of enforcers. And as he approaches, he points his finger in the general direction of the group. Arrest them! Arrest all of them! They are wanted for the destruction of Imperium property, for proposed productions of augmentations by at least 27% the entire Gilead system. Servitor production down at least 13% across the Gilead system. And failure to secure the new technology Ingus A productivity software that would have helped the entire Gilead system. These treasonous acts against the Administratum cannot be allowed. You see this small group of enforcers, these human beings, are looking between and they're looking at a Space Marine, a Palatine sister, a Seraphim sister, this incredibly disjointed, shadowy figure could only be a Death Cult assassin, and of course, a Fulgurite priest, a native of Avacris, someone that thousands of this hive know you would not want to mess with. But the enforcers approach tentatively, almost with a look on their face as to say, please just go along with it for the moment. But then, off to the right side of the crowd, you hear a woman's voice. Oh no. Stop what you're doing right there. These people are not under your authority, Administratum representative. And you see Lothar Skult just get red in the face. Madame, you have no authority here. And then as she steps through the crowd, what you see is a woman wearing Skitarii battle carabins. Her arms are matte black augmetic combat arms. She's got bright red hair in a single braid going down her back, and her eyes are the color of jade. In fact, the only ornamentations you see on her body are these arms. But when she stops, an electu flashes across her face, almost a skull plate. And it's an eye with two crossbars, a skull, and a cogwheel in it. I am Inquisitor Ferus of the Ordo Machinum, and you, sir, are under arrest for tech heresy and the attempt to propagate a heretical device that could have brought about the end of the Gilead system. And behind her, you see then Magos Albus Bast, and he's in this spider carrier, kind of a med pod, and you see his features inside of it, and you can hear binary chatter between him and the Inquisitor. And then from all sides, a company of Skitarii Rangers bleed through the crowds, and they take Lothar Skult into custody. And he's sputtering the whole way, "I am just a servant of the administratum," as he is led away. The Inquisitor approaches you. "I understand from Megos Albus Bast what you have done for the Imperium and the Gilead system here. Your actions were well within keeping if you had not been able to stop what we all know was emerging from that manufactorum. This entire planet would have had to have been exterminatus. We could not have allowed the risk of that being escaping the planetary data sphere and corrupting the entire system. However, we will need to secure you for the time being. We need to run very in-depth and full scans on all of your augmetics, your power armor, any of your devices that have cogitators or the ability to transmit information to ensure that no fragment of Ingus Avum is still present. You will be my honored guest at my Inquisitorial compound." And you see some of the Skitarii Rangers surround you. Not so much marching you off, but keeping the crowd at a distance and to ensure that if there is a fragment of Ingus Avum still processing through some of your augmetics or armor, that it doesn't have the ability to leap to another entity through some sort of transmission of your own equipment. You notice that as soon as you were surrounded, a dampening field lowers, and like all of your augmetics go to low power, your power armor goes to low power, so you're moving very difficultly through the city. But she eventually takes you to basically a very large tram, and you load on, and you're taken to her compound. And you're treated incredibly well. I mean, you're afforded all the comforts. Your armor, obviously, all of your equipment is taken away for deep scans. You're each taken into this med bay every day for iterative scans of your augmetics, line by line code searches, just to make sure that there's no scrap of this emerging AI left anywhere to be found. But after about a week to 10 days, you're all released. And as soon as you're released, the Inquisitor approaches you again. "If you are ever back on Avacris again, if you ever need anything," and I know, Brother Talav, you will be back, but if any of you are ever back, she gives you her private Voxcast number. So you may contact me for any assistance on the planet, with the Mechanicum, with the Administratum, or with my personal retinue. Although no one other than yourselves, myself, and Megos Bast, and Jackal Veronius know what you did here for obvious reasons. You are true heroes of the Gilead system, and in the classified annals of the Inquisition, your names will be noted as such. I have arranged for transport for you back to the Ducal Circlet in orbit, unless there is anything you need of me now.
I don't believe so. Thank you for your time.
It is my pleasure, Valentine.
Talif will step forward and he will say, he will basically ask about the thoroughness of the scans, of the inspections, and he will posit that if the scans revealed any abnormalities, then I submit myself for deconstruction and recyclation. My time within the Manufactorum, the creature, reached out to me. If any speck remains, and my disassembly would assuage fears beyond the size will, I shall submit myself. And he'll kind of just stand there and wait to see if this is something that she would want him to do. He's freely offering himself to be disassembled if anything showed up untoward.
And she stares into the blank visage of where your eyes would be on your face for a moment. And then she makes the sign of the cog wheel. And she goes, Brother Talov. And this she communicates directly to you in Binaric. Brother Talov, we fully expected to have to remove you from the board based on what we thought we would find, but we were able to completely scrub any fragments of information that Ingus Avum left, line by line and code by code. You may find small memory gaps as you search through your memories of the last few months. You may find intermittent headaches from time to time, but rest assured, there is nothing left of Ingus Avum within you or any of your companions. Otherwise, you would be receiving your honors posthumously.
You will nod, like, reverently, respectfully, will turn the sign, and then he'll, like, kind of step back with the group at that point.
Well then, we're all very busy, so I will let you return to the Veronius fleet and any debriefings you might have there. As I said, Jacques Veronius is aware of what happened here, but no one else is, and no one else will ever be. If any word of this actually gets out, all individuals who have knowledge of it will have their memories fully scrubbed, and you'll be returned to a baseline status, and then retrained in a schola progenitum from essentially birth. And with that, she just turns and walks away. You're led into a shuttle, and you find yourself spending a few hours as you leave the Evacros gravity well, and you make your way back to the Ducal Circlet. You are met there by Jacques Veronius. He walks up to each of you and shakes each one of your hands. You did a fine service for us. A fine service indeed. I know we can never speak of it, but you'll find that when you look at your accounts, you have been compensated for this, and if there's anything you need that we can provide, well, you just go to the supply sergeants and whatnot, and you make those requests, and if anybody says no to you, you come back to me, and we'll have a conversation. You're goddamn heroes. Emperor, protect. Take some time, rest, recuperate. Get yourselves feeling normal again. Right now, things are kind of quiet. The sisters of silence, are still deep in the flotilla looking for that damn smuggling ring and anything that might lead us back to the deeper heresies that's going on in and about here, but haven't heard from either one of them for a short time, so take your R&R and enjoy it. Then you see one of his stewards comes up, and he's got some information. He's like, he just kind of waves, turns, and walks off. And for the next 6 weeks, you are left to your own devices to stay on the Ducal Circlet, to travel to any one of the planets, anything you want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the horn. I'm going to pick somebody at random. You're going to tell us a little bit about your character, what you've been doing for these 6 weeks. If you spent some experience points and you've got some new talents or bought some new gear, feel free to share it with us at that time too. And tell us what your new objective is. And we're going to start off with the person I promised to kill last tonight, Melissa.
Oh, right. So I decided that I very much dislike running out of wrath. So with my XP spends, I did 2 different things to help with that. So I picked up too many tabs. So I picked up Righteous Suffering, which is one of the faith talents. So whenever I suffer 1 or more wounds on a turn, I roll a wrath die, and if I roll an exalted icon, I get a wrath point. So nice. You hurt me, I get a wrath point. I also, from the core rulebook, picked up Touched by Fate, which is your luck carries you through even when war gear or faith might falter. I begin each session with an additional plus rank wrath points. Nice.
And you're rank 3, so now you're starting with 5 rank wrath points.
Because
Sister
when I
Nora
roll
is
like shit,
very
I
lucky.
want to be able to re-roll it and try to do better.
Smart. That is
And
smart.
then the last thing that I did with my XP spend was, because this has come up before and you've asked me like 3 different times, like, do you have dual wield? And now the answer is yes. In fact,
Excellent.
I do have dual wield. So now I can pew pew with my 2 pistols.
Fantastic. And what is Sister Nora's new objective?
My new objective is to purge a heretical item or individual with holy flame.
Well, that we should be able to work something out for you there. And then what has she been
Just
doing for the
what
last
you do.
6 weeks? I mean, is she...
Yeah, so Sister Nura's personal goal, kind of throughout the campaign, has been to attempt to locate the Pall of Trunia, which is a like an artifact a relic, that had kind of gone missing, that she has been trying to locate. And, this is just sort of this always 1 to 2 steps behind. So, we get some downtime. She thinks she's almost there, gets some lead with some smugglers and different things. And then, the actual bits of the campaign kind of take her away. And then she kind of falls a couple steps behind again. So, she always kind of spends the time kind of trying to backtrack, following kind of where this has gotten off to.
Give me a difficulty 5 fellowship roll. Now, one thing to note about fellowship, if you want to use your wealth, you can spend wealth for an extra die, like 1 for 1.
Oh, once. So I have 5 wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So I would spend 1 of those wealth for this.
Okay.
She doesn't need wealth.
And what is your influence? Your current influence? It's on the same 4. So that'll reduce the difficulty by 1. So because you're such an influential person, when you're going around and doing all this research, talking to all these people, you're recognized, and more people want to kind of be on your good side. So now it's a difficulty 4.
And 4. I'm rolling 3 dice, just so everyone at home knows. I'm not a particularly fellowship-y kind of person.
Success.
So 1 success.
Do you want to wrath that? I mean, it would be a
I've
hard
got
sell.
5 wrath now. So
That's true.
why not spend it? I'm gonna fail, but I just feel like, oh, I'm not gonna fail. I got 4 successes and a wrath
4
critical.
successes and a wrath critical. So, you start to piece together a web of information, and it's not conclusive, but you've heard some smugglers talk about the smuggling ring you guys have been researching, and from the information they've heard, they think that the Paul is actually in the flotilla now somewhere. And rumor has it that it's actually somewhere on the Prerogative, which is the Adeptus Ministorum frigate, under the captain, under the captaincy of the Deacon Eric Tondar is the captain of that ship, and that is actually the ship that some of you would have traveled here on as Ministorum servants.
Ooh.
So the rumor has it that it's actually been found in the Gilead system, smuggled up to the Prerogative.
Good to know. Good to know. She finally feels like that wealth that we got a little bit ago, she was actually able to use that successfully. So Nura is feeling all right.
Excellent. Then let's go to Wigbert. Wigbert, how have you been spending how have you been spending the last 6 weeks with Wigbert?
Traveling down to the hive system, going to the lower scum areas, and because I have this mutation of a horn growing on me, it's not enough me carving off itself. I have to go and eliminate others that are mutated.
Okay.
So I've been learning to dual wield, because what's better than taking out one target with one weapon, but two at the same time?
I love it.
And I am slaughtering scum in the name of the God Emperor.
That's exactly what a Death Cult Assassin would do. So for 6 weeks, you're deep in the Underhive on Gilead Prime, going through and finding these go-gangers and these mutant gangs and these organ laggers. And you become this whirlwind of death through the Underhive. And actually you start to become the boogeyman for them. And they're like this dark, shadowy figure will descend upon you and slaughter you and just leave completely destroyed bodies in their wake. Give me a fellowship check. Difficulty 3.
I have 1 in fellowship.
Could be tough then.
We're not very fellowshipy, are we?
So
No, it's a failure.
you are so successful at blending in and escaping notice that although people are terrified of what you represent, no one is able to actually hone in on you. You know, there's something going on in the Underhive that's killing these gangers, organ laggers, and these mutants, but you didn't become Batman, if you get what I mean. So if you had succeeded, it would have increased your influence by 1 just because of the reputation that people would have started to attach to you for this. But you did very successfully sacrifice the enemies of the Imperium to the God Emperor on his golden throne. So well done there. What is your new objective?
Yeah, I have to chastise an individual for their lack of faith.
Okay, all right. That could easily come up as well. Let's shift over and Ashley, tell us about Celeste and what she's been doing for the last 6 weeks.
So Celeste has gotten some talent or attribute increases. So I've advanced my strength by 1, so now it's at 2 advances. Toughness is at 2. And then I bumped my fellowship to 3. So now, so thankfully I can do like insight and intimidation checks for us now, hopefully. And then I also snagged a new talent. So Celeste now has Shield of Faith. So my indomitable belief steels my mind against warp witchery. So I gain +1 faith. As a reflective action, I can spend a faith to ignore psychic power or effect, including perils of the warp, up until the end of the round. I can spend an additional faith point to grant the same bonus to all allies with the Imperium keyword within 15 plus double rank meters.
Nice.
So.
That could come in very handy at some point during this
Fingers crossed.
adventure. Just saying.
Yeah, and
it may help out.
That's what I'm hoping. While she has been out, she's actually been getting some upgrades. So she's actually getting the subdermal armor. So nice. On top of her, story artist armor, she's getting subdermal armor, which gains me a +1 base resilience.
Nice. The flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak, and I'm really bummed that I didn't earlier take the Mechanicum keyword, because I would have come out with mechadendrites. I definitely would have snagged those.
I'm going to say this, Valentine Celeste. Actually, all of you would have that keyword now after you saved Evacris. You would have been given that. Because I should have made that very clear. That's kind of what the Inquisitor was saying, is you are basically now all considered valued champions of the Mechanicum. So if you want, before we get started, you can get yourself your mechadendrites.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so I'll do do I have to choose one or the other?
No. You've got plenty of wealth, and these are relatively low rarity items, so
okay, so yeah, so I would have gotten the Medicae one.
Makes sense.
And then
as a former sister hospitaler.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's still being able to heal people is still Celeste's one of her highest priorities.
Mhm. And what is Celeste's new objective?
So my new objective is to, again, recall a wise stricture of my Drill Abyss laid down in its application to the current situation.
I like it.
But one of the other things that she does as she's going through this is she kind of gets her armor again upgraded because now she has her mechadendrite. So instead of having like the normal halo that goes over, it's kind of like a mini halo of hands. And the palms of all the hands are painted gold to represent the Emperor. And very similar to when she cast Heat Protects and it landed on top of her. So that's kind of become her own symbol, is just the open palm hand of the God Emperor.
That is so cool. I love it.
Like it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Justin, what's Azrael been up to for the last 6 weeks?
Well, one thing that Azrael's been doing is he's been using one of his traditions as a Dark Angel. So Azrael is a Space Marine of the Dark Angel chapter, and one of the things he's done since this whole situation, this whole adventure we went on with the AI, he needs to get back to his roots and get back to centering himself in the way of the Emperor and of Lionel Johnson. So what he did for the first 3 days once he got back, he did the rite of sins renounced. Basically, it was just it's a 3-day ritual where he does basically sits there, does nothing, just does a mind chant. It's essentially just like this penance of time he has to basically bring himself back into who he is and who his people are, which gives me a wrath point because my notes, my objective says I need to practice one of the traditions and rituals of my chapter. So right away, this is not that one right off the bat. So I got myself an extra wrath point.
Smart, good stuff.
Do you have 5? Just asking.
No. It's just 3. Just 3.
Okay, just asking.
But all I've really been doing is kind of rehoning myself, training. I found a training simulator that I can work with, and this has had some effects. I've added some new talents to my character that represents these changes. So the 3 things that I was able to learn and train better into is basically I have now what's called Gene Rot Might, and essentially I'm super strong, and the power of my modified physiology enables me to perform incredible feats of raw strength, and failure in such endeavors is a stranger to me. I may add an automatic icon to my results when making a test involving physical might, such as athletic tests to lift a chunk of debris pinning a wounded ally. And additionally, any such tests take half as long as usual. So my training has led to that. I've also gained Rapid Assault, where I can maintain a steady volley of fire while swiftly advancing. I can fire ranged weapons with Assault trait as part of a sprint without an increase in difficulty. I'm going to get in there. And then finally, I gained the ability for the Imperium Sword. Always the first to the fray. I hurl myself into combat like a whirlwind of vengeance. I may move an additional plus rank meters when I charge. In addition, the attack I make as part of a charge gains plus 1 ED or plus 2 ED when attacking a mob. So
Nice.
This entire time, just been honing and training. I've had time to just sit down, recenter myself, become one with the Emperor, one with the Lion, and become the best demigod I could possibly be.
Can't wait to see that demigod in action. And last but not least, Jeff, what's Vintael been doing for the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think Beric was very. I think he was a bit shaken a bit by the events in the manufactorium, like having his circuitry, having his cogitator, having everything about him like kind of threatened in such a way. So I think Birk goes through some very extensive self-maintenance, but also probably visits with a variety of like Magos Genitors and like, what are they called? The tech priests. I wrote this down. Tech priests, chirurgians, like they're surgeons and things.
Surgeons, yep.
Yeah, to have significant restructuring and rebuilding. Like he's literally being rebuilt. So I feel like that offer that he had made to get himself deassembled, he follows through on it himself, and he kind of voluntarily disassembles himself in some ways to a point, gets his electus refitted and cleansed, kind of taps into whatever kind of ritual chambers and such he might have down on Avacris to ensure like they're flooded and clean. And he severs half of his brain. So he just like half his brain he's concerned with, and he replaces it with a cogitator. And I took several talents. One of them I took was Rite of Pure Thought, which basically I replace one hemisphere of my brain with a cogitator, and I live in a emotionless existence depending upon the peaceful and rewarding purity of logic. And so this allows me, this basically boosts my like resolve tests, fear tests, and like persuasion and interaction attacks and stuff, and some investigation stuff. So like he's just gone further and further away from emotion and sort of focusing on the logic of things. He also, in addition to having his head worked on, his brain worked on, like he probably connects with like these genitors, these like the sort of genetic surgeons or the biologists and things like that, to kind of go through his various like whatever musculature he has left and essentially carve it away and replace any like pretty much most of like the whatever human flesh was left, replacing it with some sort of engineered flesh. As I have also officially taken the flesh is weak as a talent, which basically almost all of my body now has been replaced with various augmented components. So the hands, when he had lost his fingers, that kind of melted away. He's had those replaced, and sort of like, you know, Luke from Empire Strikes Back, like he gets his hands replaced with some sort of like mechanical hand that he puts underneath like his conduit gloves that keeps the electro staff from kind of coursing through him too much. But it also means he doesn't bleed anymore. He doesn't have to breathe anymore. He has just gone full, and a couple other things here and there. And once he has satisfied himself in terms of his maintenance and in terms of his sort of redesign, he probably goes back down to Avacris, wherever the Fulbright order might be, looks for like electro templums for like drilling and training, and just begins to familiarize himself now with like the new timing of his new muscles, his new flesh, begins to go through various combat scenarios and combat drills. And so he also took a few things here and there to boost some of his combat, but like I see it as like this challenge, like a personal challenge to himself, that he was so close like to being like taken over, and so he is just even more fully committed now. Like he is as fanatical as a fanatic can get, but you know, in a good way. And so I think that's what he's been doing. It's just disassembling himself, getting others to rebuild him, and then to drill until he is as perfect a weapon as the Omnissiah needs him to be.
And what's your new objective?
Well, very clearly give praise to the Omnissiah for some small miracle. Now, it's very easy to do that one, so I'm going to save it for later. So I'm not gonna say all these little things, but yes. So that's his objective. It's one of my favorite to do because it is so easy.
So easy.
It's so easy.
So it's been very quiet for the last 6 weeks, but you all get notification to meet with Jacques Veronius in his secure conference room aboard the Ducal Circlet as quickly as you can get there. You all assemble in there, and some of you may not have seen one another for the last 6 weeks. Birk is looking a little different, but Palatine Celeste, particularly to Birk, is significantly changed.
Byrrc might be the only one that Celeste has seen during this time, because
possible.
presuming she went to Avacaris to learn how to use her
Mhm.
arm.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe I gave you some,
that's nice,
or maybe I connected you with various like tech
Mhm.
priests who could perform the surgeries that you were looking for, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, that's possible.
Excellent.
One thing you would notice about Byrrc, by the way, and it's Celeste. In addition to like his physical changes, like he is like every now and then I crack jokes with Byrrc and like you know raise an eyebrow here and there. It's like gone. Like all of it is just pure rigorous logic and assessment. There's just nothing. He doesn't. There's no smiles that happen anymore because his facial muscles have been replaced and he got rid of those like subroutines or whatever kind of.
He
whatever.
doesn't hit on her legs anymore.
No, yeah, you definitely
I
don't
think
see
that's
him
what she first
catcalling
notices.
you and checking out your legs or your arm, for that matter.
Yeah.
That seems so interesting to him now.
So there are scars left over from the Avacaris mission, but you're all called back together, and you're within the conference room, and then you see Jacques Veronius walking in from his office area, and next to him is Sister Angelica Vintael, who was Gavious' sister. You have not seen her since the Dark Bidding mission, so it's been, or since the mission on that her monastery was destroyed. So she looks about the same. She's not wearing any of her armor. She's wearing very modest clothes of like a shipwright so that she could blend in around the flotilla. But the edge in her eyes is the same. Jacques Labroche, I'm so very glad that all of you were able to come back so quickly. We have a critical opportunity here to possibly get to the head of the snake of this infernal smuggling ring that has been after these heretical items, who was provided that base code for that Ingus Avum, who literally tried to sell a Chaos Space Marine. For God's sakes, may the Emperor protect us. But I digress. Listen, the sister here has heard chatter amongst some of the other smugglers, not associated directly with the smuggling ring, but they have indicated to her that there is a heretical object that is of specific interest to the head of the smuggling ring that we are trying to track down, and that it is currently on Ostia and is being prepared to be moved off planet. We know that a courier for this smuggling ring has been dispatched to take custody of the item and move it off world. Now, fortunately for us, there are very few independent smuggling operations on Ostia, and we've been able to shut down all of them except for one that is, how you should say, somewhat loyal to the Veronius family. And we believe we've been able to funnel this courier towards this location. It's a out of the way private space dock and garage chop shop smuggler's hideout. I've given directives to the two smugglers that operate this facility to stall this courier as long as possible until you're able to arrive. They're not there yet, so I think we've got a little bit of time, but they must be making their way close. We've heard that they've already attempted to go to 2 other smuggling outfits on the planet to get off planet. Clearly, they don't want to go through any of the standard spaceports. They can't risk it. Can't risk Imperium interference. Listen now. This is critically important. Under no circumstances can you kill this courier until we have managed to get all the information out of him that we need. Otherwise, it's somewhat pointless to take him into custody in the first place. But, that being said, you can also not allow him to escape with this heretical device. Furthermore, under no circumstances can you allow him to communicate with anyone once he is aware that he is being stalked by you. So hopefully you will be able to hit them hard, hit them fast, and take immediate custody of the courier. Now, I have no doubt that he has some sort of retinue with him, some sort of bodyguards. If this heretical object is so important, I am sure that he is not unguarded himself and may himself be of a threat. So prepare yourselves. We're going to be sending a shuttle out, but to ensure that you are not spotted before you actually make fall, you will be doing a low atmospheric, high altitude, low opening grav chute drop. The grav chutes will be locked into the transposer of the smuggler's facility, so all you need to do is ride it down. You have to do nothing else except for don't let it fall off your back. Any questions?
How much do we know about a courier and what he's carrying?
We know absolutely nothing about this courier. We know that he exists. We do not know his armament, his race, his skills, his abilities. We do not know his retinue. We know nothing about him, nor do we know anything about this heretical object other than the fact that we know, without a doubt, it is of singular importance to whoever is in charge of this smuggling ring, who have been vexing us for the past standard Terran year or more.
So you're saying that we need to bring him back in a state to remember and speak.
Absolutely. We must, and, well, let's put it this way. If he can't talk to us, or he is shocked beyond the ability to communicate, or he believes that his entire life has been destroyed to the point where he no longer has any interest in communicating, well, it's going to make it all that much more difficult to get information out of him. However, I mean, we have Astro Telepathica. I've got some excellent telepaths here, so we can grind that information out of his brain as long as he's still alive. But if you're able to question him and get the information out, the sooner the better, because I'm here to tell you, whoever's in charge of this smuggling ring is a savvy son of a bitch. And if he loses track of his courier for too long, he's going to assume he's been compromised. So we need to make this operation go lickety-split. That's an old Terran saying that means don't screw up, do it quick, do it right.
We will do our best to make sure that he is still able and interested in speaking. No promises beyond that.
Miracle speak out. Query.
Yes, sir.
If expediency is the intended outcome, why did you not just say the literal meaning first?
Well, Brother Talif, let's put it this way. Not all of us are quite as logical as you are, and I've never been known to be accused of being a concise speaker. I like to make clear to everybody through my emotive speech patterns that my intent. I don't want anybody to be confused by this, so let me reiterate one last time. Get the courier. Do not kill the courier. Do not let the courier communicate with anybody. Get the heretical device. Do not get compromised. Try not to blow up half of Ostia either. We need all that grain.
Who's currently
If you
falling?
add any more contingencies, you might as well just tell us exactly what to do.
I did. Drop down there and grab that son of a bitch, question him, and then bring him back up here. And if you question him and you get some information out of him, and you need to act on that immediately, I will say, God Emperor bless you, and get out there and do your job.
Understood.
Excellent. Shuttle's waiting.
Is the sister coming along with us?
No, she is not. Sister Vintael, she's still a novitiate, so she's still able to speak. She goes, no, I'm following up on another lead here. In the event that something goes wrong on Ostia, I'm following up on another lead that may help us figure out who's in charge of this situation.
Celeste nods. Emperor protects and then turns and follows, presumably right behind Beric as we march out.
And it's an Arbus lighter. It's the pilot that you used before. He's like, oh, good to see y'all again. Buckle up. It's going to be a hard drop. we're going to be burning into Ostia's grav well. As soon as I get to the lower atmosphere, I'm going to drop the back, and you just got to jump. There's plenty
Sounds
of
good.
bags in case you lose your lunch. Just please don't do it all in the inside of the office lighter. I'll have to clean it out later. Ship takes off.
Yep. We lock in.
At the mention of having to jump, like some tiny little portion of Talif is still there as his head just turns and he looks at Sister Nura. He doesn't say anything.
You're all issued grav chutes. You all know how to use grav chutes. They're pretty. It's a simple anti-grav system. It's a halo drop, so you're going to be in free fall till you get down to about 50 meters above the ground. Then you'll pop the anti-grav engine and then float down the last little bit. But you should be coming down right on the smuggler's facility. Any last minute questions? The harvest lighter drops. You guys feel this. Those of you who still have working biological stomachs feel them lurch up into your throats. The drop gets hard. The harvest lighter gets hot as it's burning through the atmosphere at an angle that it normally wouldn't take. And then there's a jolting halt, and it kind of spins back. So the back opens, and then the back panel slides open. The light goes from red to green, and you hear your pilot say, "Jumpers, jump!"
I leave behind a spew of my breakfast for him to clean up later.
He's like, "Damn it! There's always one."
Tal will jump, no hesitation.
And the chutes work as described. You're all you're in free fall for 5 or 6 minutes because you jumped in the low atmosphere, and you're slowly making your way down to Ostia. Well, you're free falling down to Ostia. As you get close, you start to see first the green fields, some of the dirt roads through Ostia, and then they get closer, and you're able to actually pick out the building that you assume is this smuggler's chop shop. It's got a large open area where it looks like it has ground landing and a retractable dome, and then it almost looks like a junkyard surrounding it, and then a main complex. As you get closer and closer, then your grav chutes deploy, and you land on Ostia outside the main entrance to this facility. What do you do?
I'll take point. I'll be out in front and start walking towards the facility. Is there anything I can notice from the outside that maybe we can observe?
Sure. Let's give me either an insight check if you're trying to get your gut feel for this place, or a survival or awareness check if you're trying to pick out certain kind of details. Awareness for just general awareness. Survival would be trying to spot something like traps or anything like that in the area. And with your awareness test, four successes. So you scan the area. Everything is quiet out here. The junkyard extends off in both directions. It looks primarily like vehicle parts. Some of them look like scrap. Some of them look like they're being rebuilt or have been scavenged for parts. The main entrance is a large double door, and it's cracked slightly open in front of you. The building itself is a 2-story building, and then the dome behind it that you assume is retractable for a spacecraft to either land or take off from is about 4 stories tall. The only other thing you notice is tire tracks, very wide, thick tire tracks that look like they approached from the direction you're approaching and then circled around behind the building back to where the dome is and what you assume is probably the loading bays of the primary building. The front door is cracked.
Are there any cameras or anything that's observing us?
Give me a survival check. Difficulty 3.
Ooh, I will wrath it. 4 successes and a wrath critical.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes. You notice multiple cameras, very small, discrete cameras on the building and positioned throughout the junkyard. There's also tremor sensors. So whoever operates this facility, you're fairly certain is aware of your presence and probably has been since you landed.
Okay. And Celeste will just, mention that, and it seems like speed is required.
And this is straight into the smuggler's den that we're at?
Pardon me?
Are we straight at the smuggler's den is where we landed?
Yeah, you landed right in front of it. Basically, there was about 20 yards of a junkyard around and in front of it, but you've managed to walk right up to the building. No alarms have gone off, nothing. You haven't seen anyone, but Celeste has pointed out that there are cameras, and the door into the smuggler's facility is ajar.
Open invitation. I'll just stealth my way in.
Okay, give me a stealth check. Difficulty 3.
Got a 5.
Well, yes. So
Nice.
basically, what's it look like, Wigbert, as you disappear and stealth into the building?
I point out to the others how to avoid camera detection. You can blend in with the terrain at certain angles. When they look back to me, they just vanished.
Okay. And as you slide into the door, you're in a shadowed area, and as you look around, this is obviously like a garage area. You see parts of disassembled vehicles and bikes all around you. You see what looks like a fully functional Chimera, which is an armored assault Imperium Militarum vehicle. So it's got a turret on it. It's got a big back area where you could put like 10 or put a squad of troops in it. You see a couple of Arbites patrol bikes, like think Judge Dredd Lawmasters off to the side. And you see an Arvis lighter that's back in there under the dome section. You can see it towards the far end of the room, and it looks like it's going through a power-up cycle, but there's some red flashing lights on it. What also catches your attention is standing between you and that Arvis lighter are 2 individuals that you recognize. It's Lynn and Rocco, the Ogren and Ratling that you last saw at the auction. The smugglers that you last saw there. And they're looking around and they're looking down at their watch, and then you hear this loud boom, and then Lynn hits his forehead. And you see off in the corner, they were kind of hidden. You see what looks like a human jumping into an orc battle wagon. And this orc battle wagon bursting out of the garage doors at the far end of the building, followed by 2 orc war bikes with orcs on them as they speed off. And you just see Lynn and Rocco. God damn it, they were supposed to get here in time. Oh, we're going to be in so much trouble. Call Veronius, let him know that they didn't make it. What do you do?
Surround them? Good.
Well, that's it. Only
Wigbert's the only
Wigbert is
one who can
aware
hear this.
of this at the
Yeah.
moment.
Oh, that's right,
We're not
that's right.
So a bunch of orcs jumped on a orc wagon and are driving away.
Well, you guys don't even see that because that's at the back of the facility. You hear the sound of a roaring engine, but you don't know what it's from. Actually, 3 roaring engines, but you don't know what it's from.
I'm going to try to find line of sight of the group and give them a signal that something's out back.
You see Wigbert's head shift around the door, and he's like, and he signals you that something's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna rush in.
And then you hear over your personal vox casters, you hear someone voxing directly on Veronius's, on Jackal Veronius's personal line. Hey, boss, your team didn't get here in time. The courier just grabbed his head and freaked out, and he took off. We had the with the ship, we were stalling and everything, but I don't know where they're going, but they're taking off like bats out of hell.
So any of us can respond to that, right?
Yeah.
We're here. Turn around.
And you see Lynn is on the back of Rocco's shoulder. He starts on, they're getting away. Get them. Listen, my box jammer is the field for my box jammer is not that large. He's going to be outside of that jammer in just a couple of moments, and he'll be able to communicate with anybody.
We take the armor slider that's powering up?
Yeah, or a vehicle, or...
There's the bikes we can take, too.
Because the office lighter is, we kind of screwed with that. It's not going to be ready to fly for 15 minutes at the earliest. But, hey, man, listen, the camera and the bikes there, they're fully functional.
Mr. Nur is just going to start flying because she can do that with her jump pack.
Mm-hmm.
They can figure out whatever they're doing with vehicles.
I'll rush to a bike.
Yeah. How many does the Chimera hold?
The Chimera would hold everybody. It holds an entire squad. Okay. So the Chimera's got a pilot seat. It's got a seat for 2 crew members to use the crew-served weapons on the Chimera, which are amazing. And you could set 12 passengers in the back of it.
Okay.
I'll pilot one then.
All right. Talov will go with Wigbert. If he's taking the Chimera, he'll go with Wigbert, like in the passenger role or something like that. Or crew role.
Yeah, and we want him to come on there too.
I'll go to the Chimera because my ballistic skill's high, so I'm sure that will help out with the weapons that are on there.
Okay, so
does are Lynn and Rocco coming too?
No.
Okay, then he'll please.
We'll get the office lighter ready for you in case you need it when you get back.
Please give
Jammer,
me the Fox
please.
Jammer, please.
It's in the building. It's building size. It's not transportable, so you just need to hustle up. The Chimera is a little faster than that battle wagon, but they got a little bit of a head start on you. So
Talv turns around mid conversation and just doesn't listen to the rest of it.
Who is going to be the pilot for the Chimera?
I think it's me because Sister Nora didn't join us.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wigbert, I'm putting you in the pilot slot. Crew. Now, so they're different. So what we're getting into is the Church of Steel vehicle rules, and they're fun, but none of us have played with them yet before. So we're going to take it slow. And we're going to talk through it. So there are different actions that you can take based on where you're at on the vehicle. So if you're the pilot, there are different piloting actions you can take. Brace for impact, breakneck speed, which allows you to go double your speed. Drive, which is just a standard drive test. Emergency repairs of anything that gets damaged in the vehicle. Evasive maneuvering, which improves your defenses. Line up a shot, so it improves the gunner's ability to hit. Then obviously you can fire, ram, or reload. Crew can brace for impact in case you guys get hit. They can conduct emergency repairs. They can open fire, or they can reload. Now, passengers in the back of a Chimera, because it's an enclosed vehicle, they don't have any actions they can take other than brace for impact.
Okay.
So I've got a pilot for the Chimera.
Talov is going to take a crew role because because he can do the emergency repair stuff. That's tech and everything like that. So he'll take one of those positions.
Okay. And
I'll take a crew role too because I want to get on one of the gunners.
I like it. Okay, so if you guys can see that I've got the Chimera up, and you guys have been assigned your roles, and the vehicle rules are up, I would go down to vehicle roles and vehicle actions. That's going to be where primarily we're at. If you look at the gear tab, this is the different gear that's on. So anyone in the crew could either fire the heavy bolter, the multi-laser, or the las gun array. You can also pop smoke, may not be as important here. If you scroll down on the main tab, under war gear, that's where you can actually use any of the weapons. Now, the way your defense works for a vehicle is it's either the maneuverability or the pilot's pilot skill, whichever is lower is your defense. And then resilience and wounds work about the same as they do for anything else. However, anytime a vehicle takes a wound, you have to roll on the vehicle damage chart, which can cause all sorts of different things to happen. When you're targeting another vehicle, you can just shoot it to do wounds and try to stop it. Or if there's a specific part of the vehicle that you want to shoot to take that component out of service until somebody repairs it, you can do that. Like a battle wagon's Voxcaster, for instance, or any of its combat equipment. So we'll go round by round. Basically, when we get into initiative, it's going to be vehicle initiative if you're in a vehicle. If you're on your own, you'll be in the initiative by yourself. And I believe that we still have Sister Celeste. Where are you going to be?
Go ahead.
There are 2 Arbites bikes that are available. Or you can be a passenger inside the Chimera, or you could opt to ride on the outside of the Chimera and just attempt to hold on and shoot your gun when you get in range.
Just they were on a motorcycle. You can do whatever you want. I was just like having fun in my brain with that picture.
It's a cool picture. My pilot's only 4. What would I need for the motorcycle?
So basic drive tests are not hard. You don't even really need piloting skills. Only if you have to do like specific evasive maneuvers, you're trying to do a special trick, like you're trying to ride up the side of a cliff and jump onto the back of a battle wagon, then you would have a piloting check. If you go breakneck speed, where you double your speed, that doesn't make your piloting check more difficult, but any check anyone on that vehicle makes for that round, or while you're continuing to maintain double speed, you have to add 3 wrath dice to it. You don't add additional dice, but in the pull-down menu where you select your dice pool, you put 3 for wrath or 4 for wrath dice instead of just 1. And then if you get a wrath complication, you get, it sucks. But
yeah.
So do you want to be? You want to be on an Arbites?
Yeah.
Bike?
Let's do it.
All right. So I pulled that up. I am going to put Sister Celeste.
It
on a
will look
bike.
cool.
You just took that new death thing. You just got that new death talent. You got to try that out for size,
awesome. Now the Arbites patrol bikes don't have any weapons themselves, but like you still have your movement action, which is the movement of the vehicle, and you can still have your weapon action, which would be you firing your own personal weapon. Yeah. Now, when you're firing a weapon from a vehicle, the difficulty increases by 2. If you're firing a vehicle's weapon from the vehicle, the difficulty increases by 1, unless you did the studying action. So, but we're going to see how it all plays out. So what we see is Sister Nura take off and fly with her jump pack towards what she now sees is in the distance, the orc battle wagon and 2 orc war bikes. Behind her, she hears the sound of the Chimera roaring and one of the Arbites patrol bikes roaring as they come to life and begin to follow out. So, situation we're in is round 1. The distance to the orc battle wagon, which is where you assume the courier is, and you know where the Voxcaster for the vehicle is a distance of 44 away from you. Now, Sister Nura can fly at 12, but you have a vehicle, and the jump packs came out before the Church of Steel rules. So if you want to go breakneck speed with your jump pack, you can double that and travel 24 in your movement phase, which would actually put you in range of both the war bikes and the battle wagon with your weapons while you're flying.
Holy crap. I would like to fly at breakneck speed because that sounds fun. Let me I don't think I have to roll anything unless I'm trying to land.
Nope. So you guys see, as you're getting into the Chimera, you see Sister Nura take off. The Seraphim is flying. I mean, you've never seen her fly this fast. You're all praying for her safe landing as she takes off, and you basically the 2 orc war bikes are a little behind the battle wagon, so you are able to get within 20 spaces of the war bikes and 30 spaces of the battle wagon. So, what weapons do you have? And what would you be wanting to shoot at?
I've got my dual wield Inferno pistols.
All right. And the range on your Inferno pistols, unfortunately, is pretty short.
Yeah, it's 9.
So you're not actually
6-9.
You're not in range with your Inferno pistols to hit anything because you're greater than long range. You would be in range to throw a crack grenade or a frag grenade at one of the orc bikes if you wanted to. Or you can spend your combat action for additional movement and get up right over the battle wagon, but that would be your entire turn.
I mean, this may be not good for my health to be the only one this far up, but she's here to chase, so I think she's just going to use all of it to close the distance as much as she can.
Okay, so beginning of round 1, Sister Nora is flown over the 2 orc war bikes and over the orc battle wagon. And as you're looking down, this is an open top. Basically, it looks like a World War II German half-track on wheels on steroids with a giant engine belching smoke and fire. In addition, as you look down at the battle wagon, you can see a large orc in the back. You would say he's probably the captain of this group because he's the biggest orc. The one thing that's very odd about him is he seems fairly docile for an orc. And you notice there's like a chipped fragment of black stone embedded kind of in his forehead. It's about as big as his fist. And you see black veins kind of propagating out of that stone and down his face and the back of his neck. You also see a group of about 20 grots moving and running all over the battle wagon. And sitting next to this captain, you see the human, who you assume is the courier, and in his lap is what looks like a lead case, probably large enough to carry a football. In addition, you see an orc in the turret, directly adjacent to the driver, as he cranks it around, and you see a giant orc kill-a-cannon look as if it is trying to get a bead on Sister Nora, unless somebody wants to seize the initiative and do something.
Sister Nora was sort of like fiddling with her grenades a little bit. And then you just sort of like, if you were in her head, you remember the like torturously long lecture about like, don't kill the courier. And so she kind of like stops fiddling with the grenade.
Let's use the initiative to breakneck speed this vehicle out here.
Okay. So the speed on the Chimera is 26. So you're able to get a total of 52 spaces. So you bring the Chimera right up on these orc war bikes. Now, if you try to pass them, I mean, you can either engage in the rear orc war bike, or you can attempt to pass it. If you attempt to pass it, if they will be able to take free shots at you as you drive past it. Your call. What you guys want to do on the
I'll trail
Chimera.
behind. Engage the back one.
So you guys see this huge orc war bike. I mean, think Lobo's space cycle on steroids with giant wheels. And you see this orc turn around and look at you as you begin to drive up on him. Now, you still have Wigbert, you still have your actual action. So that was just your drive action. So one thing you can do to assist,
You can line up the shot, right?
Line up the shot. So you would need to make a difficulty 3 piloting test. Now remember, 3 of your dice have to be replaced with wrath dice. So when you pull up, make sure your wrath dice says 4 for your help.
Okay. Wrath die 3.
Complication. Okay.
Yo.
So this is a
succeeded, though.
vehicle complication.
Oh my gosh, like 3 complications?
Yes. It's horrible.
Does it stack like that? Oh god.
So you
I
successfully
don't think it
lined
does,
up.
but you know.
So
He just gets-
roll a
Black Warg takes him.
d6 for me, and let's see, because you're the pilot. Let's see what the vehicle complication is for you.
5.
Okay, so while you're grinding up on this, you ran over something that is lodged up in the axle of the vehicle, and you feel your speed's constant, but your maneuverability starts to shimmy and shake. So for a round, your maneuverability is down to 1. So your defense is effectively 1. And it is now the orc's turn. We're gonna go with the Killicannon because it was drawing a bead on Sister Nura. So this orc with this Killicannon, it's just like this large quad-barrel giant cannon. I mean, Sister Nura, as you look down at the barrel of this Killicannon, would be large enough for you to almost fly in it yourself. As he lets go with this explosive shell barrage. What is your defense?
3.
Defense 3. Okay. You're probably gonna be okay.
Sure.
He doesn't have a lot to. Well, yeah, only got 2. And a wrath complication. So let's see what happens to the battle wagon. Same thing. So as he's firing this Killicannon, obviously the mounts on this turret are not great. I mean, it's orc construction, and it grinds against the chassis of the battle wagon. And as the round goes wide away from you, the maneuverability of the battle wagon seems off as the driver is trying to gain control of it again. Bringing us back to anybody on the Chimera or Palatine Celeste on her bike.
I'll be the first to try and shoot from this thing. See if I can figure out how it is.
And who are you going to be shooting at?
I'm gonna take aim at one of the bicyclers.
Okay, there's one directly in front of you. So
bicycle, like, ching ching. That's why I assume.
Exactly. It's almost. You can definitely assume that, but we're going to say that it's a very large, armored, and fortified motorcycle for those at home who are unsure.
All right, my bad. All right, sorry.
No,
But
you're
with a
fine.
bell.
With a bell.
Yeah.
He's got a bell on it for sure. I mean, come on.
So-
of course, he's got a bell. So now Wigbert did successfully line it up. So you get a +1 to hit. You're in short range, so you would normally get +2 to hit. Now he did breakneck speed, so what you do is you select the weapon you want to use, either the heavy bolter, the multi-laser, or the las gun array.
Where are these weapons?
Just scroll down on the main tab under war gear. You'll see it.
Gotta click on the Chimera.
On the Chimera.
Token. If you're looking at the map. I'm
Oh,
picking
sorry.
up
Open the
token.
Chimera.
So you just double click on that token.
Double clicking. Nothing's happening. I don't know why.
Hold, please.
Okay, well,
figuring out
I can-
Foundry Fund.
What would you like to roll? The heavy bolter, the multi-laser, or the las gun array?
The heavy bolter.
Okay.
I don't know why it's like I'm double clicking it.
I don't know, but I'm going to set it up for you.
Appreciate it.
The defense of these bikes, let me double check what that is. Too many tabs open. All right, maneuverability is 5. The piloting skill is only 3, so it's 3. Difficulty is 3. You get 3 bonus dice, but you have a total of 4 wrath dice. And I'm going to roll for you. Let's see what we get.
Oh man.
I appreciate your roll luck.
Nice.
11 successes.
And what is the resilience? Okay, let's roll some damage here. 13 damage. Nice. Let's roll their critical.
It now works for me.
Okay,
Yeah, I
and
give you
it's so you strike the bike. Sorry, that's my fault. Anybody who wasn't aware, I'm old and I suck. Okay. You strike the bike, doing damage to its chassis. Not enough to completely destroy it, but it's definitely listing. And because of that, it takes vehicle damage. So if you go to the rollable tables, under Church of Steel, you can pull up vehicle damage. And go ahead and roll on that. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and give
So-
permission for vehicle complications, too.
Church of Steel.
And thank you, Jeff.
Roll table tabs. A rollable table tab. It's 2 over from items, and you should see a Church of Steel folder. Tables, Church of Steel.
Table, Church of Steel. So
Okay.
vehicle, what is it, complications?
Damage.
Vehicle damage. Because every time a vehicle takes a wound, you roll on the vehicle damage chart as well.
I've never rolled on this before.
Well, do well.
New
your
for all
first
of us
time.
today.
Peaceful combat.
Got it.
Nice. Okay, so
It is shaking.
So what happens is you hit this with this heavy bolter, and you hit it in the back. You slam into like the back wheelbase of the vehicle, and it spins out. And since it's a bike, I'm gonna say it just goes spinning, and the orc goes flying off the bike. And now there's only one war bike in front of you, and then of course the battle wagon.
It's like in The Last Crusade when he hits it with the pole, you know?
Yes.
He flips there, yeah, you know.
But now it's back to back to the orcs, and the orc on the second war bike, he is going to he turns back and aims at the chimera coming up at him, and he's actually going. Yeah, he's just going to aim at the chimera, and he fires off his DACA gun. Now, it's going to be more difficult for him because he is piloting. And the Chimera has a... What is... Wigbert, what is your piloting skill?
8.
8? Okay, so the defense of the Chimera is 3. Because it's the lower of the maneuverability or your piloting skills. So he is going to fire away with his DACA gun.
Wigbert's a better pilot than Nura is. Very nice.
And he hits the Chimera, and hits with a critical. So there's going to be some damage on the Chimera too, possibly 13 points of damage. The Chimera. I gotta keep that open. Chimera's resilience is 16. So actually, he does not penetrate it, but see what the critical says. Staggered, so it takes 1 wound. I will go ahead and spend 2 ruin to get it above the threshold. So it actually does 1 point of damage to your Chimera and forces you guys to roll on the vehicle damage chart again. Go ahead, Justin, since you know where it is, go ahead and roll vehicle damage for your Chimera.
It's all going to be your fault.
Crippled! Oh, that's bad.
I was just
Okay,
joking, but
So
you know,
the
maybe.
speed of the Chimera drops by half. And all your piloting checks, Wigbert, increase by 2. Now, this is the kind of circumstance, this is where emergency repair comes into play. So on your turn, you can attempt an emergency repair against the number of wounds that got through, which is only difficulty 1, and then you're able to temporarily repair that if you want. So, the orc howls in glee as he sees the Chimera start to lose power for the rest of the turn and begins to speed off to try to catch up with the battle wagon. What would you like to do?
Talif will go and immediately start trying to repair the damage that was done, as that is why he is here. So yeah, he would like to try to give that an attempt.
Give me a difficulty 1 tech test, but remember, you have to replace 3 of your dice with wrath dice. You have a wrath total of 4 wrath dice.
Okay. Is Haster Cravo with us still?
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
He absolutely is.
All right. So here we
Faithful
go.
skull is always with you.
Yes. And he will screech in Binaric and tell, no longer speaking to Haster Cravo like so that you guys can understand. They're just communicating now. So he's just more and more becoming machine. So here's a roll. Here we go. Oh, I think I put difficulty 3. My bad. But
Okay.
5 successes and a wrath complication.
Complication. So roll on the vehicle complication chart. You're able to successfully fix the problem, and describe what it looks like as you're trying to fix this horrible damage to this chimera.
I think one of my wrath dice didn't roll, so I can roll another one if you want.
It's okay. You got a complication anyway, so
Okay.
it's
Do
fine.
I roll my own complication, or do I roll vehicle complication?
Vehicle complication.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me do it again.
If I can show you where that is,
I'm literally the one who gave you access.
I can show you how to do it.
So as you're repairing it, you're able to successfully repair it, but it causes the chimera to spin out of control. Roll a d6.
All right. 4.
So it spins out, and you're actually going almost back the way you came before you get control over it. So you're still at half speed through the end of next round.
So I think what happens is Beric is like his Elect2 start to glow. He starts to channel like electricity. He starts to put his hands. He starts ripping through things and kind of trying to redirect various electricity here and there, and then doing what he can to just bypass the broken systems. But in doing so, maybe he nicks like some of the control mechanisms, which probably causes this to spin a little bit out of control. And he will just, with a very calm voice, he will say, "Please keep her steady, Wigbert."
I'm working on it.
And all of the orcs have gone at this point. So Palatine Celeste on your Beatty's patrol bike. What do you want to do? You see in front of you. You see the chimera get hit, slow down, speed back up, spin out of control, and is basically coming back towards you and off to one side. You see one of the orc war bikes get shot to pieces and spin off. You see one orc war bike is directly in front of you, and the battle wagon is quite a distance away at this point.
She's just gonna try and catch up. So she'll like hang around and go around our vehicle that they have that kind of spun around, and kind of use that briefly as cover before, if she gets in range, throwing a crack grenade.
At the orc on the motorcycle, or at the battle wagon?
The orc on the motorcycle.
Okay. So to get to him, you would have to go breakneck speed to close the distance, which is fine. You can do that on your movement. But now when you go to throw your crack grenade, you need to make sure that you replace 3 of your dice with wrath dice. So that's 4.
Okay.
And your difficulty increases by 2. So the
maybe
difficulty...
I don't want to throw a crack.
You'll be fine. The maneuverability... So his piloting skill is so it's a 3. The defense is 3. So his defense would be 5.
Okay, so I'm just.
And normally a grenade is just a DN 3, but that's when you're throwing it at a static location. Since you're throwing it at a moving target, we're going to actually go with the defense of the vehicle or the pilot.
Okay, and I'm just rolling the crack grenade, right?
Yeah, you just roll the crack grenade. It's difficulty 5, and just replace it where it says wrath dice. Put 4 in there instead of 1.
4 and 5. So 7 successes, 1 wrath critical, 1 wrath complication.
All right, let's go the damage
all
first.
the things.
All the things. You got it all.
Oh.
Got it all.
19 minus
okay.
2.
So you
Blast
easily
4.
got past its resilience. Go ahead and give me the wrath, the critical.
Okay, blinded.
That's perfect. That makes complete sense. Crack grenade basically goes off right on top of this bike and blinds the pilot. Now give me your complication on the vehicle complication chart. So you're driving this bike, you throw the grenade, you get a bit of the shear from the blast.
Engine stall. Speed becomes 0 at the beginning of the next round and then returns to normal at the end of that round.
Okay, so on round 2, you're basically stalled, stopped. The grenade explodes. Maybe you ditched the bike for a second, but
yeah,
you did do enough damage that when that war bike explodes, completely destroyed by your crack grenade. And we're just going to say the orc is dead or dismembered enough that he is not going to be an issue. Leaving only the battle wagon. So the Chimera is spinned out and is moving at half speed. Your bike is stopped for the next round. For the top of round 2, Sister Nura is directly over the battle wagon. You're looking down, you see the frantic human in there pointing up at you. You see the captain in the passenger seat with his own weapon preparing to aim it at you. You see the turret a little off kilter, so the orc gunner is moving over to another weapon. What do you do?
Would you say that I can shoot with enough specificity that I can shoot just the driver?
You can do a cold shot against the driver. It increases the difficulty by 2. Now, you no longer at breakneck speed because you caught up with them, so your speed is normal. So you're just back to 1 wrath dice, so no more crazy potential for complications.
Okay. All right, so if I do a dual wield, it means that I would... Sorry, the description doesn't actually tell me the penalty for a multi-attack.
So multi-attack causes +2 for each additional attack. So I think with dual wield, that it takes that down
decreases
to
it
0?
By 2. So
By 2,
it must take it to 0 then.
Yeah, so you can shoot each of your guns once with no penalty. So it'd be difficult. Let me just pull up and verify.
But it would be a called shot is a
called shot
+1 ED for every +1 you add to the target's defense.
It's a little different in vehicle combat. So in vehicle combat, to hit an individual, as long as you can see them, and you can because this is an open bay, it increases the difficulty in an open bay vehicle by 2.
Got it. Okay.
So his defense is normally 3, so his defense would be 5. But it's because you're in a vehicle yourself, it's increased by 2 as well, so it's a difficulty 7.
Oh God. Okay, so it's going to be a DN 7.
Yep.
So it's a base 3 bonus 4, and then I'll do this. So this is the first shot.
Wrath complication. You can, of course, spend wrath if you want to try to.
I would have to roll a 6 on the one remaining dice.
That is true.
So,
what else are you gonna do with your wrath?
Okay.
What else are you gonna do with your wrath?
Yeah, all 5 of it.
Come on, let's go. Taunt Justin like that, and then don't spend the wrath. Come on.
That's some real demigod.
Sometimes you just gotta roll the hard 6.
I mean, I'm gonna get a second shot, so I'm not gonna spend the wrath on this one.
Take your second shot, and then we'll deal with the complication.
Okay. All right.
Snake eyes.
Battlestar Galactica. Sometimes you gotta roll the hard 6.
Sorry.
It's perfectly fitting for Warhammer 40.
Son of a. Okay, I'm gonna. This one I will reroll because I've got more to reroll, so I will spend the wrath on this one and see how that goes. Failed on both, got complications on both.
Okay, so
Damn it.
do 2 vehicle complications.
I don't want to.
Shoot yourself in the jetpack.
Vehicle complication. Roll number 1. Roll number 2.
Tumble. Okay, so basically you're firing these Inferno pistols. You get shaken up by it. And Oh yeah, hard knock. So, wow, that's rough. So you tumble, take 1 point of shock, and now roll on the vehicle damage chart. This makes sense. I mean, this is the first time you've been in combat from your jetpack.
Oh God! What are all of these things?
So your Inferno pistols, as you fire the first one, you kind of get shooken off, and as you fire the second one, you literally catch yourself on fire. It's unfortunate, but that's how it happens.
It is very unfortunate.
I mean, she's on brand. I mean, she hasn't strayed from normalcy.
So wait. I'm reading all the way to the bottom. I feel like I just got a mortal wound.
Yeah, you did. That's just one wound. You just can't soak it. I mean, it's not that bad. You're fine. So on your next turn, you can attempt to do a vehicle repair roll on your jetpack, and I will say that will put you out of fight. But you will still take damage on the beginning of that round.
All right. So,
does anybody want to seize the initiative?
I'll do it because I want to clarify something with the emergency repair. So with emergency repair, you can do one of two things. You can either remove wounds, or you can repair one of the damage components. So what were we saying I did last time?
You repaired the damage component.
Okay, so then we shouldn't have that speed effect.
You did, but the complication you got was spun you out of control.
He was spinning out of control. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure his speed wasn't down.
Yeah,
okay,
that's why I said your speed and then came back down. But yeah.
Okay, yeah. I won't spin it then to go. Then if it's already been repaired, then I won't spin it.
No, you're good. You're good.
We're still within firing range.
At the moment, no, you're gonna have to re-engage. I mean, you're right now. You're at about 60 from them.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to do a pilot check to get back into range again.
So this is
I don't think any of the
then.
chimeras have.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and seize.
Have a range of that. Okay.
You are going.
Go ahead and spend
direction,
the glorious
Wigbert.
seize initiative, and
I'll do a U-turn.
You guys see those fireworks in the air? It's pretty crazy.
So go ahead, give me a difficulty 4 piloting check. The difficulty 4 piloting check will allow you to spin it back, and then you can still use breakneck speed if you want.
A lot of 2s and 3s. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it.
I don't think I've ever seen that many failures.
Single success.
Wow.
At least no complication.
No success.
Hey, he's
No
not on
complication.
fire. All right. So there's
That's
that.
a good point.
There we go.
You know
7
what?
with a crit and a shift.
Because I took that wound, I got
With
a
a
wrath back
critical.
because I rolled and I got a 6. So I'm back up to 4 wrath.
So what I'm going to say is, for the wrath critical and the shift, the breakneck speed. I mean, Wigbert executes this figure 8 spin back and is like hauling ass, but he's doing such a good job holding it steady. I am not going to increase the wrath dice for this round for any actions taken by anyone else in the Chimera, including Wigbert's own personal actions, which could be to steady the vehicle or line up the shot, if you want to do that.
Am I close enough to ram him?
You would be
God,
close
I
enough
love
to
where your
ram
head's
them,
at.
yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
But
ram him over
remember, if you kill the courier, you're
He'll
screwed.
survive.
And he is in an open top vehicle. I'm just letting you know.
I can heal him.
That's my
from
difficulty
death.
7 shot
Not from
to try
death.
to shoot the driver.
I'll give him a light tap, a little warning shot.
Okay. All
A
right.
little love tap. Let's just
If you
try
get
and
him
spin
killed,
them
I
out.
swear to God.
Sure.
feel like there's a
Wasn't
lot of
getting
other
Kipser killed enough
options.
long? Wasn't your decision making that got Kipser killed enough? God.
Yeah, but you guys aren't gonna die. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we might get executed. We could get executed.
We're not gonna die. Sister Nura.
Okay. All I need then is a piloting test. The difficulty equal to. Hold on, pull that up.
The target's defense.
With a difficulty equal to 2.
How easy is it for someone to escape the chimera? Like, say, jump out and grab someone flying through the air.
That's not.
Damn it!
Oh,
I got another shift and crit, so I'll improve the action of it.
Nice.
okay.
He'll make it a tactical ram so that only the
So,
guy doesn't fall
He'll
out.
just
Go
run
ahead.
right over top of them. That's what he'll do.
So-
She'll be fine.
Roll 5d6.
All right. 23.
Okay, let me just see what that actually is, though. Hold on. It's 2, 3, 4,
Oh, you
5.
really crush it.
5 and a critical roll on the vehicle damage chart.
This is where it's like totally destroyed. Completely all.
Flattened.
Up in flames.
A little armor breach.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys see this chimera just slams into the back of this battle wagon and destroys it. You drive right through it, killing everyone in the battle wagon.
Yeah.
You were warned so many times. You
see this lead box go fly off to the side. You see body parts fly everywhere. What would you guys like to do? You have successfully killed all the orcs. Your chimera is also rumbling to a stop because it took a significant amount of damage as well on in the experience, but there's no one left alive.
Celeste would like to desperately heal the courier.
Not even
Please?
kind
Kill
of
another
alive.
Please.
Oh my god.
You did so much damage to that vehicle; it was insane. I mean,
Is there
orc
a
battle
brain
wagons
stem?
are not put together really well.
Is there a brain stem
I got him.
or like? This is it.
I mean,
God,
there are
please-
parts. You know,
please hold-
imagine
hold the
getting
vehicle.
run over by a tank going 75 miles an hour
It's just
while
a-
you're in a
Obliterated.
car that explodes on contact. It's
Please halt the vehicle. You may have jeopardized the mission. We must see if we can harvest anything left of this courier.
I'll slow us down.
okay.
So Barrick will get out and try to search among the wreckage for anything
Yeah.
that might be a salvageable person.
Can we look for an upper torso?
I'm looking basically for a brain. Is there a brain? Maybe we can access it. I don't know.
Just a brain. Just
It'll probably be
Laying
an
on the
orc brain.
ground.
It'll just be like the dumbest.
Oh,
just be like,
okay.
I like chicken.
So I hate absolute failures. I prefer to fail into success. So if somebody wants to permanently sacrifice a wrath point, in other words, going forward, they will have one less wrath point forever. I will say that
Where's
you find
Melissa in the-
Cyric slightly alive and possibly able to be healed.
Melissa's above me.
She's on fire, though.
Now,
We'll
see,
get
we
back to
can,
Melissa in a second.
there's one of two people this should be. This should either be Long because he didn't listen to everybody, or it should be Nora because she has all the math.
It should be
So.
maybe the person that obliterated our target that we
I
need to bring home.
think it kind of is on him.
Unless Melissa
A little bit.
takes that
He
bullet
shares
for him.
a little
Unless
bit.
Melissa takes that bullet for him.
Maybe
I'm
not
not
all of it.
obligated to.
We're a team,
I'll-
but I feel
Yeah,
like
you can
Take
just
it.
leave it as is. I mean, something else will happen, but it's up to you.
I can take. I will have a. It's fine. I'll have a wrath of 4 every session.
Okay. Then before we continue, I need Sister Nora to roll a
Stop being on fire.
tech test, difficulty 4. But before you
Yeah.
do that, roll a d3.
Oh wait, what if she crashes and dies? She can't donate the wrath.
That's why we're gonna
point.
wait and see.
Okay, so
what
roll
if
the
she
d6, so
slams-
it's a
You take 2 wounds, two more mortal wounds while you're on fire. So you've taken a total of 3 wounds. Give me your tech test.
hold on. I gotta roll another thing and see if I get a wrath back because now I'm down 1.
that's good, that's
so
good.
I don't. So that's fine. I'm sorry, you said to roll a difficulty 4 tech test?
Difficulty 4 tech test.
All right, which is going to be even harder because I'm wounded.
True.
And I only have a dice pool of 3. So, yeah, this is going to go... Frick.
Ooh, complication. Give me a vehicle complication roll.
What if she slams into him like a meteor? Well, whatever's left of
Don't
him.
even stop.
I suffer another mortal wound.
This
from
is
these scrape.
This is your vehicle. So what happens is
sorry.
the Prometheum tank in your jetpack flares out and you fall. Give me a difficulty 6 athletics test.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
headphones have
Sorry.
gone.
I've got one left. I was trying to save the other one and I knocked it off my chair in the process of trying to save it. So with my power armor, a crash deals a minimum of 1d3 shock plus falling damage.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking up falling damage right now.
So I got 2 shock. So that puts me up to 3 shock, and then the link on falling damage didn't work, so
Come on, fall.
falling damage page 201, almost there. Falling damage 5 meters or more falling damage, 1d3 mortal wounds for every extra 5 meters over 5 meters.
Okay, so that's 15 feet, 30 feet. So 3d3 mortal wounds as you crash into the ground.
3d3. So I'm going to roll 3d6.
In half, yep.
I don't like the look of that. So that's going to be 3, a 2, and a 1.
6 mortal wounds.
6. So that puts me at 9 of 10.
As you slam into the ground. Now, here's where things get fun. I need another.
It wasn't fun already?
Difficulty.
Now it gets fun?
No,
it wasn't
yeah,
already
it's-
fun?
It gets
No,
fun.
it's burning.
I need another difficulty 4 tech test for you to keep your jetpack from exploding.
Eek. Okay. So
Potentially exploding. Not necessarily guaranteed, but potentially exploding.
Okay.
So you guys see Sister Nura on fire flying above you and then slam into the ground.
I do wonder what's the point of jetpacks in this game if it's this ridiculously deadly. Like,
They are deadly.
This is
They are.
stupid.
You gotta be a good
stupidly
pilot.
designed.
It's the falling. Yeah,
She is
the
a
falling
good
damage.
pilot, though. I don't know.
I don't think I ever
Well,
had to
if-
roll a
if-
piloting test. It was just a
design.
complication.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The complications did her in, but
It is the complication for sure. Okay, so I'm rolling 3 dice for the tech test. I don't.
Okay.
I can
So you-
wrath it to try to succeed. I'd
Could
have to
wrath
roll a
it.
6.
You could spend a point of glory to get additional dice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we do have
Thank you.
glory.
and you got 6 glory.
Keep
You're max.
forgetting
so,
about that.
so you can spend 1 for sure.
So yeah, I'll spend the wrath and then spend the glory. No, I failed to get a complication.
Okay. So you feel the rupture in your jetpack's line, and you know that it's going to blow. And you're not able to stop it. Give me a difficulty 3 athletics test to get out of the blast radius when it goes.
Okay. If someone can drop the glory just to make sure that gets
I got it.
spent.
I got it. Take care.
Difficulty. Sorry, what was the difficulty on the athletics?
3.
Just difficulty 3.
Okay. Four successes and another complication.
Okay, you managed to get out of the blast radius. Go ahead and roll the complication. It's not a vehicle complication. This is just a normal complication.
Okay. I am a physical mishap.
So what happens is you get right to the edge of the blast, and then the blast wave hits you, picks you up, and throws you down on the ground. So you get to fall twice this session, but no other damage. But your sororitas armor is blackened. You're in pain. Your jet plaque has exploded. You look around and you see a field of debris that used to be an orc battle wagon, and fine blood mist in the air, green and red, that you can only assume were orcs and humans. But since you were willing to permanently sacrifice that wrath point, anybody can try to give me an awareness test to find the courier before he dies. Difficulty 4, to find enough of him.
I rolled 6 successes with a shift possible.
So, Azrael, you see a burning husk. I mean, think, Darth Vader after he got his ass kicked by Obi-Wan Kenobi on. That's what you see on the ground. I mean, this burned, horribly scarred, what used to be human, but you see his hand. It's up in the air, and he's gurgling, and you see phlegm and blood coming out of his mouth. But it's possible, albeit unlikely, but it's possible that he could be saved by someone.
Yeah, I would like to try.
If you wanted to think about it mechanically, he's maxed out his wounds, he's maxed out his shock, and he's sitting on 3 traumatic wounds out of 4. The 4th one will kill him. Don't get a complication.
Sister Celeste, this man needs your help.
Okay, so can I cast by his will on myself first before healing?
Talk to us about by his will.
It allows you to call upon the God Emperor to assist you. When you work with another of his children. Never mind. Hold on. Okay, never mind. All my other stuff is battle stuff. Okay, never mind. So I'm just gonna do.
Does your Mechadendrites, they help, don't they?
Yeah. So he's dying, so I get bonus 2 for that, and then my tools give me an additional 2. And then my Mechadendrites give me 1 more.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 2. Okay, 5. What was my target number?
Your target number is just 3, I think. So you're fine.
Okay, because I'll wrath if I need to.
No, you're fine. You're able to stabilize him.
Okay, cool.
Especially with that shift. So he's not, you're not sure that he's going to survive, but you've managed to stabilize him. You've managed to clear his airway enough. You've pumped him full of some painkillers, so the horrible burns covering his entire body. He seems to be calmer. He's breathing calmer. His heart rate is down. His blood pressure is down. He's conscious and somewhat cognizant, but you don't know how long that's going to last.
Okay. If I wrath that, would that help make it longer that he might stay cognizant?
Yeah, if you get more shifts, it would assist.
Okay. I will reroll. I got 4 shifts.
Okay, Gosh. So you managed to stabilize him really well. You're still not sure. There's no way he would survive without actual surgical assistance, but he's stable enough at this point that you could keep him alive for probably a couple hours.
Okay, yeah. So Celeste will get him into the vehicle so we can hurry back and get to the airship that's waiting for us. Then if he has any comms equipment or anything that was on his person, she'll toss that to Beric to have, and then yells for someone to grab that box that fell out
That's what Tal was probably doing this whole time, is investigating that.
Yeah.
So he's got no gear left on him. I mean, basically everything was burned off his body. He's just third-degree burns over his entire body. Beric, when you get this box, like I said, it's about the size that it could hold a football. It's lead, and it's got very intricate locks on it. And they're not mechanical locks. You think they're actually psychic locks. Some sort of Psytech that has the lock.
Okay. If only we had that one other guy in our party still.
If only.
Okay. And we don't have anybody in the party that is actually a psyker or anything like that, do we?
Not at the moment.
He'll just tuck it. He'll keep it. He'll tuck it and figure it out
back
later.
at the base, we have a blank who can possibly deal with it.
That's
too.
what I was figuring. Like, since we don't have
There was
anybody in the
that
immediate
orc
party,
with the freaky thing in his forehead.
he's not
they're
there
all
anymore.
They're all
That's
He's
true.
now paced.
There's
I was
that
just saying,
mystery.
maybe we want to grab that from his forehead.
Well, as you look at what's left of the orcs' corpses, you see that they all had that some sort of implant. It looks like it was some sort of psychically active stone. You don't know what it's probably linked to a psyker, some sort of Psytech. It definitely has the very in the back of your throat. You can feel the calling sensation, and it feels gritty. And when you get close to it, you feel kind of sick. So they're obviously tainted. But even as you get close to them, they disintegrate off of the corpses, and then there's just nothing left of them. So obviously they were linked to the orc's life force as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're able to hobble back in this half-destroyed chimera back to the smugglers, and you see Len and Rocco there. They're like, what did you do to the guy? I mean, Jacquel's going to be so pissed off. This is not on us. This is so not on us. Hey, listen, we're going to file our report to say you guys came back, took the harvest lighter and left, but man, you guys are the shit now.
He's fine. We got him.
Oh yeah, he looks fine, all right. He looks extra special fine.
He just watches we all kind of turn to look at Wingbird as we get on the ship, and we're like, we gotta go.
And he's coughing and he's scrabbling. Looks like he's got one hand kind of scrabbling towards Beric and towards the box, but he's only semi-conscious. So
Is he going to survive the drive back?
you don't know. It's going to be close.
Someone should probably talk to him.
Yeah.
He's reaching for the box. So he's reaching for the box? Okay. He'll hold it up, but like out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see this?
No, I gotta get it to the boss.
The boss?
My boss. Well, I mean, he's in charge. He's not really my boss. It's just, I don't feel so good. I can't really see anything. And you realize his eyes have cooked. The coronas of his eyes have cooked. The aqueous fluid in his eyeballs have probably boiled off. He's completely blind, but the painkillers you've given him and some of the psychotropic drugs you've given him, he doesn't really realize how bad condition he's in. But he obviously senses the box somehow.
So Tal will just say, do not worry. Eyes are not needed to see. Who is this boss?
My eyes are... I just can't open them. I'm so tired.
You will get rest later.
Somebody give me a either intimidation or persuasion test, depending on how you want to go about this. Now, his willpower is normally 5. That would normally be the difficulty, but because he's in such bad shape and he's under the influence of drugs, I'm going to drop the difficulty to 3.
I could do persuasion.
Go for it.
So what do you say to him to persuade him to open up about his boss?
We could take it for you. You just have to tell us where and who.
I can't. He'll kill me if I let it go into anybody else's hands. I don't know you. Why? I don't.
We've known each other.
Well, I don't.
That's why we're here.
I don't. We know each other.
Yeah.
Give me the difficulty 3 persuasion test.
Oh shit.
Got any wrath points left?
I don't think so.
Because I don't recognize your voice. So somebody else can try. You could try a different tactic. Somebody could try intimidation. Somebody else could try persuasion.
Could I try intimidation instead?
Yeah. So what's it sound like when you move over to intimidation?
When she moves over to intimidation, you watch as she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out her chaplet of Ecclesiasticus.
Mhm.
And they're like a symbol of her power and her rank. And she just kind of holds it in her hands. And then she begins to basically wrap it around his throat. And she holds it there as if she's just on the brink of about to garrote his neck. You will tell me who your boss is. And you will tell me where we are to meet him.
Who are you? What are you doing? Why can't I see it?
I am the hand of the Emperor, and I will be what burns you from this earth.
Oh, no. Give me the intimidation check. I'll give you a bonus +1 die to your check because that was terrifying. Difficulty 3.
Okay. 8 successes, 2 shifts.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So he's like, I never meant to. I just got invited to these parties, and I mean, there was nothing else to do, and then they said they were having some fun moving things around. I mean, it's just so boring on the flotilla. I didn't mean to get in this deep. I love the God Emperor. I'm not a bad person. He goes, please, my name is Sirik von Stark. I'm a member of the noble class. My family, they're on the ducal circlet. This was just supposed to be fun. I got too deep. I didn't want this to happen, but I'm supposed to deliver the box. There's a stock set aside on the prerogative, the Ministorum frigate. I'm supposed to immediately bring the box up there and give it to Harkon Veronius. He's the one who organized all of the smuggling. He's waiting for it right now.
At what time does he expect you to be there?
Now, we were supposed to take off 20 minutes ago, and then I got that horrible headache, and I knew something was wrong, and I made the orcs take off with me. Never trust orcs. But I mean, we were already supposed to be almost docking with the prerogative by now. Harkon's going to be the only one waiting there. He said it was quiet. He said that it was a special gift for his master.
Did he state who his master is?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say who the master is.
Tell me. And she slowly starts to tighten it around his neck.
Please.
And then she loosens it.
Please. Give me another intimidation check. This one just difficulty 2.
Three successes.
Okay, you made it. Please don't make me say his name.
Say it.
It's the Ministorum Deacon Eric Tandar, the captain of the prerogative and the most senior member of the Ministorum. in the Veronius flotilla. He is the cult leader of the cult of the frantic flensing. They're cannibals, and they worship Slanesh. And as he says that name, he goes into spasms and then dies. And that is where we're going to end tonight, aboard this Arvis lighter with the corpse of a smuggler and a team trying to decide whether they're going to go to the prerogative or whether they're going to go someplace else. The clock is ticking. And I didn't kill anybody. I came so close.
Job.
You did. You got a bunch of people. A bunch of the dudes on the wagon died. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I killed a bunch of bad guys. That's right.
Possible Grots are super dead. Grots are super dead.
All the Grots are completely massacred. You know, the saddest thing is that battle wagon has a Grot catapult, and he throws the Grots at you, and the Grots are clutching these bombs, and they scream kaboom as they come landing on you and blow shit up. And I never got a chance.
Barks are the best. Like I wanted like we were to pull up side so like I could jump in the back.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I was like, but no.
I got this sweet ass chainsaw I've never used.
That
covered in green.
That orc captain was going to be fun. He was going to be fun, but hey, but you guys succeeded. You got the information you needed. You got the device. They did not communicate with anybody, so you succeeded. You succeeded.
And Aaron, you got me to 9 of 10 wounds.
I know, and
so you know.
If you had not made,
you know what?
If you had not made that athletics check, I might have been able to kill you with
Byrrc attacks Sister Nura and just kills her. There you go. She's dead now.
I mean, I was close. It made me feel good to get close.
Just put her out of her misery.
Yeah. So I think in the future, I like the vehicle rules for vehicles. I don't like the vehicle rules for the jetpack because the jetpack just isn't set up.
No, that hurt like hell.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But I mean,
because it's me, it's not the vehicle. It's me.
Because like the other, like the Aldari sky bikes and things like that, they all fall into the vehicle rules. So it's like other personal flying craft do. So I was like, you know, it kind of makes sense, but I think it may be a little too harsh with the jetpack. I don't know. I'm going to think more about it. Your jetpack's gone at the moment anyway, so we'll see. But
it's probably safer for Melissa that it is gone. So,
but I did. But
even
Melissa
without, even without the combat
twice.
Vehicles, she'll probably kill herself in that thing.
I did not kill any of you, but I did make sure that Melissa fell twice, and that made me happy.
Good.
So
and our box things record.
Yeah, they can. I mean, all of your power armor has the capability of recording.
Do you really want to keep a record of what just happened? We're gonna get Wigbert.
Oh, just the interview. Trouble. Only the interview.
Just montage together. Don't kill him until you get your information. Show Wigbert ramming, and everyone be like, "Don't ram him." No, I'm gonna ram him. It'll be fine.
You said ram him harder. Okay.
You just say ram him. That's
really
crazy,
hard.
But all right.
Okay. Well, at first I thought it was going to be okay because I was looking at the battle wagon. I'm like, it might be tough net to take this. And then he rolled the damage, and then he rolled the extra damage because he got that wrath critical. And I was like, holy crap! Yeah, he just absolutely destroyed that battle wagon. Absolutely destroyed it.
Murder everybody.
Almost destroyed the Chimera too. Because the Chimera was down to 1 wound after that ramming.
Oh wow!
But that's okay. You guys succeeded. You got what you needed. So fantastic. In 2 weeks, I'll try to kill you again. Depending on what you guys do. So we'll do that. For everybody at home, this is our final adventure for Wrath and Glory. So next probably 2 more sessions, I would expect before we see the end of this crew, at least for now. And with that sad note, I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff so he can cheer us up with all the fun shit that's coming on next.
Well, I'm going to turn it right back to you so you can tell us about all the fun shit coming up on Garblag. And then
son of a bitch. Okay.
It's like an
on
Uno
Wednesday, card. if you're enjoying Warhammer 40K, then on Wednesday over on Garblag Games at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can check out. They are playing Cubicle 7's new game, Imperium Maledictum, which is a D100 base game. It's grittier, street level. If you love the movie Dread, that's your wheelhouse right there. So tune in and watch them. They've got a fun crew going there. And then on Thursday at the same time, Pete will be back continuing his Mothership campaign. And now back to Jeff.
Okay, I was trying to buy time to scroll and find a raid. Okay, what do we got going? Let's see. Tomorrow we got some Call of Cthulhu. We are in Mexico City. Everyone is on the verge of death except for Long, but Long is on the verge of insanity. So really, it's kind of a different kind of death. So it's pretty fun goings on in Mexico City. We'll see how it goes. Then on Monday we've got more space shenanigans with Fragged Empire. Tuesday, Steven broke his contract, so we're off on Tuesday, apparently. Thursday, Simba Room, where you can see Aaron, myself, and Melissa getting into some dark fantasy Witcher-style shenanigans. And then Friday next week, we got more Delta Green. And then 2 weeks, we'll be back with more Wrath and Glory. But yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. I'm just grabbing the first of my list because it's slow. So Dork Tales, you win because you're at the top. So we're going to raid some Dork Tales. They're playing some Dungeons and Dragons. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Good night.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.